Freelance for Freedom YouTube channel. My name is Harriet Hadfield. I am a celebrity makeup artist, content creator, and coach for creative freelancers, and I'm very excited for today's video. If you're new here, welcome. I would love for you to subscribe. Who am I? I am a celebrity makeup artist with over 16 years experience. I've worked with everyone from Doja Cat to Naomi Watts, from Chelsea Handler to Alexandra DADDARIO, and I've worked with a lot of huge global brands in both in beauty and fashion as well. This channel is where we demystify how to double your bookings as a creative freelancer, primarily through the lens of being a makeup artist, but this is also for you if you are a photographer, maybe you're a video editor or a stylist, or you work with hair as well. So get comfy, grab a drink, let's get into it. So in this video, I am going to be discussing the makeup portfolio do's and don'ts. And like I said, this will apply to any other kind of creative freelancer as well. So let's give some context to the portfolio overall. Gone are the days of the 11 by 14 book. So when I was starting out as a makeup artist, I had an actual physical book that was huge. It was like yay big, it weighed a ton, and getting things printed for that portfolio cost a lot of money. We're talking at least, I think I used to pay anything from like 20 to 50 pounds per image to get it professionally printed at a studio where they did 11 by 14 print. Being 11 by 14, you could zoom in on all the details, so you needed it to be printed at a high quality. In terms of getting clients or potential clients to see my work, I used to have to carry this massive book around and go between production company to photography studios to meet with other creatives with this book. It was a very costly experience, it was uncomfortable to lug around, and it also meant I couldn't put anything in my book until I had something back from a photographer. This is pre-BTS, this is pre kind of Instagram. Everything came down to this book. And the great news is today that being a makeup artist especially, there are so many ways that your portfolio can take shape, from your website, from what you show on Instagram, to maybe having images on something like an iPad for when you meet with other potential clients. So with that in mind, let's go over the do's and don'ts when it comes to building a portfolio that will get you booked, because if you're new here, that is my goal. This channel, we want to teach you everything you need to know in order to double your bookings in any market without relying on word of mouth or referrals and without needing an agent. My belief is that a really strong portfolio should get you booked. That is the job of your portfolio. It's a way to show your clients what you can do, what your unique style is, and where you excel as an artist. And the job of your portfolio is to help clients make a decision, to make them think, yes, this is exactly the person we've been looking for. Their style is very in line with our own brand identity. So the first do make peace with the fact that your very first test shoots may suck and they may not actually make their way into your portfolio. It's all part of the process. So when you're first starting out as a creative, testing, which is where you meet with other creatives, for example, maybe a makeup artist, a hairstylist, a photographer, a stylist, and a model, will all meet together to create images that you can all use for your portfolio where no one's getting paid, but it's showing clients what you can do. And it's a way for you to start really experimenting with what is your unique style, what is it you want to be known for as an artist. Testing, especially when you are first starting out, and we'll talk about this later, but as you go into your career, testing is a way for you to network with other artists who may also bring you other jobs or be referring you to other people within the industry. But it's a great place for you to really master your craft, really kind of focus in on your skills and become a better artist without the pressure of a client necessarily having to see it. Okay, so the next do critique your work. But, and there's a caveat, without shame. So one of the things I believe made me very successful as an artist is I would regularly critique my work. So I actually had a notebook that I carried with images of every single artist I'd ever worked with, even before I was working with celebrities. Any test shoot I did, any shoot of any kind, I would be taking photos on both Polaroid, and this was before phones, or my digital camera. And when the shoot was finished, so both, let's say it was printed in a magazine, I would compare what I saw in the magazine with things I'd shot in real life to get an idea of what had worked and what hadn't. This made me such a better artist. I didn't use this as a way to berate myself or tell myself I wasn't good enough. It genuinely helped me see where I needed to improve. Let's say I had not matched the skin correctly. Let's say the makeup style I had used didn't work with the kind of lighting the photographer had used. It helped me understand very early on where I needed to improve as an artist, and I got better at catching these things. I would see them earlier on through using the process that I call reflect and record. And I recommend everyone do this if you're an artist. Have a notebook where every time you create a piece of work, you have, whether it's Polaroids, something you've shot on your phone, that you can look back at and think, what did I like about it and what would I change? It was also really great because I could record any products I'd used, especially if I was using them new for the first time, which helped me decide, okay, I love the way X product photographs on camera. I love the way that eyeshadow translated in terms of the black and white photography. Those things in particular, being able to critique your work, again, without shaming yourself, will make you a much better artist quicker. So the next do build a portfolio that shows a distinctive style and shows continuity. One of the biggest mistakes I see new creatives and even creatives who have been working for a long time in the industry but aren't getting booked anymore is they have a portfolio that shows all different kinds of things. And what happens is it becomes very unclear as to which clients you're trying to attract and what you excel at. So when it comes to a client seeing your portfolio, you want it to be really clear what you are the go-to for, why they would hire you, and be building a career in which you are getting paid to do work that you actually want to do, that excites you and you feel passionate about. If you are going to a client that you want to book who is looking for someone who does amazing skin work, do you have amazing skin images inside your portfolio? I want you to think about your portfolio with a specific client in mind when you are creating images for that portfolio, because again, it will help you get booked much quicker. So let's say you want to book very high fashion editorial work. You want to be thinking about how you can build a collection of images that showcase that kind of makeup style. Same if you're a photographer. There's no point having a portfolio that's full of very commercial images if you're wanting to book shoots in, let's say, ID or date. If I was trying to build a portfolio to get in with, say, ID magazine, that would be curated very differently from a magazine like, let's say, Marie Claire. This was something that helped me make a lot of money from my portfolio early on because everything I created was from the lens of who I was trying to attract. I remember when I first booked brands like Glossier and Honest Beauty, it was because I had curated images, especially when I was testing, that I knew they would want to see. I knew they would be images that would appeal to them because they could see that I understood their brand identity and together we matched up perfectly. And the other thing I would add to that as well is when a client is looking through your book, each image should be helping them solidify their decision that you are the right artist for that particular booking. If image 1 has them thinking, yes, this is the right direction, but the next images 2, 3, and 4 go off in a completely different tangent, which feels like a completely different style, that might make the client think, oh, okay, well, she does a tiny bit of that, but that's not actually where her expertise lie. I think the big misconception is that you have to be good at everything and do all the things. No, make it very, very clear where your distinctive style lies within your particular creative market as a creative. Okay, so the next do, and this is a big one, do work with other creatives who have similar goals to you. When I think of people testing and seeing testing as something that wastes time or isn't fruitful for them, it's often because they're not working with other creatives who have the same goals in mind. When you are testing with someone else who, let's say you want to get your work published in an editorial, doesn't want to get their work published in an editorial, more times than not, there's kind of a clash of conflict of interest where one person wants one thing, another person wants another thing, versus when you are meeting people, and again, networking, we're going to talk about in upcoming videos, with other like-minded people who have the same goals, you will get better images faster. And what this means for you as an artist is you want to research people who want to test and shoot with you. So let's say a photographer approaches you and you know that as a makeup artist, your goal is to do skin that's very minimally retouched and it has a real skin quality to it. But let's say you have a photographer who wants to work with you, who maybe their work is the complete opposite. Maybe they use very heavy retouching and maybe the colors are very bright and bold and everything feels very overly saturated. It's probably not going to make sense for you to shoot with that person if the goal is for you to be strengthening your portfolio. The caveat to this is if you are completely brand new to the industry, of course, gain experience. But I think there's a difference in knowing when it comes to building a very strategic portfolio, when to think about who are you working with? And again, is there a brand identity alignment, even with you both as artists, and the goals you have? So the next do make sure that you update your portfolio regularly. Again, if there's one thing I see a lot, is creatives having the same images on their website for a year at a time without ever updating them. We want your clients to be seeing the newest work that you have done. Use the principle of, as your work improves and you master your techniques, your craft and your distinctive style, you want to be showcasing your best work only. And that is something I always say to my clients. It is so much more fruitful for you in terms of a portfolio translating to bookings when you have only your strongest work in there. Okay, let's talk about the don'ts, things you don't want to do with your makeup artist portfolio. So on the back of what I just said with the update your portfolio, I want to talk a little bit more about archiving, because it's a process I do a lot with my clients inside my programs. And don't be afraid to archive things that are in your portfolio in place of helping stronger work stand out quicker. So what I mean by archiving is, let's say you have an image or several images that you feel very emotionally connected to, or you have this belief that if you don't have many images, people won't book you because they won't think you have enough experience. This is a big mistake. Actually being able to have less, but that's all equally as strong, will perform so much better for you and translate into more money and more bookings. Archiving for me, what I like to say to my clients is, take an image out if you're unsure about it, and you can always put it back in at a later date if you want to. But I've seen time and time again when I've made my clients archive certain pieces of work, their bookings pick up again, because straight away their portfolio looks seamless, it's clearer who they're trying to pitch to, and they get the gigs with the clients they actually want. And the way I think about your portfolio is also a bit like a menu. When you see a menu full of lots of things in all different kinds of categories, it's really hard to know what to order. It feels a little bit overwhelming. And the same is true of a portfolio, versus when you have a very curated menu, maybe just 4 things that all complement each other really well, you don't even have to make a decision. The decision is made for you, and it feels very seamless. And that's exactly what we're trying to achieve with our portfolio. Okay, the next don't try and be for everyone. Now, again, I know when you're first starting out, yes, you need experience. Yes, you want to try different markets to see what feels most in alignment for you, except that trying to be for everyone will actually make you less money and burn you out faster. So when it comes to having a hustle-free approach to booking the clients you want, we want to be strategic with our portfolio. So the way I think about a portfolio is, it should be a very clear yes or a very clear no. Again, we are not meant to win every single client, and I say that from a deep-rooted belief that there is enough work to go around. No matter what you may have heard, no matter what you may have been told, or what you currently believe, I've seen it myself with my clients, okay? Trying to be for everyone will burn you out, and it won't get you the results you want, especially when it comes to earning more as a creative and having more fulfillment. So we want to make sure we take all those things into consideration with our portfolio. Okay, so the next don't worry if your style is different from that of other creatives. I think when it comes to finding fulfillment in your work as a creative freelancer, it's important that you do own your style, versus trying to make decisions on, if I'm in this market, I will make more money. I've seen a lot of creatives move markets or try and work in a certain market knowing it's not where their heart lies, and then feel even more frustrated when they can't make money being in that market. The market is not the problem, okay? Again, when you understand how to build a portfolio that gets you booked, and you know the steps and everything you need to do in order to attract clients in the digital age, everything will feel so much more seamless and won't require any hustle. But whatever your style is as a creative freelancer, honor that, nurture it, and where can you make sure that you work on your craft with that context so that you get to make money doing what you love. And then last but not least, and I've kind of touched on this point a little bit already, don't overfill your portfolio. Again, I know it's so tempting when you're just starting out, or even if you've been in the industry a while, to feel that more will look like you have more experience. Archiving is an integral part of building a very successful, profitable portfolio. If every single image in your book a client saw, would there be any that they go, that one's not as good as the first one I saw, or that's not as good as the last one? Do you feel like every single image in there complements what it is showing collectively and how it is representing you as an artist and your capabilities and your strengths? Less is more, and it really is a case of quality over quantity. So that's it for the do's and don'ts of the makeup artist portfolio. Again, everything I've talked about today definitely applies if you are a photographer, if you're a stylist, a hairstylist, so please share this video with any of your other creative freelancer friends. We want to make sure there is room for everyone in the industry to succeed. That is my goal, and I want to create more six-figure freelancers. I also have a very special treat in store. I have a free training that you can go and watch, which will teach you how to book celebrity clients and global brands and double your bookings in any market. So I'm going to leave that in the description box for you to go look at now. That's going to walk you through my frameworks and step-by-step what you need to do to make sure that 2024 is your best year as a creative yet. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.